But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste. Hold up. But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste.
This live stream may contain content that could be perceived as shocking or offensive, but it is presented solely for educational purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. We strive to adhere to community guidelines, and any potentially sensitive material is shared with the intent of fostering understanding and learning.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard, coming to you today with a quick live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about a situation coming out of, I believe, Fairfax, Virginia. There is a privately owned, I believe this is owned by maybe one family, a small conglomerate. This is not a major food chain. There's a small grocery store that has recently found itself in hot water with a security guard that is being accused of assaulting a 18-year-old young man with autism. Along with this, the security guard is also, I believe, attempting to press charges on the 18-year-old with autism. The situation is gaining steam in terms of the national coverage. And there's some lessons that can be learned for any private security guard or officer who follows this platform on how to deal with and interact in situations like this. This is one of the many issues that I bring to you guys that I have personal firsthand knowledge of, because this is something that we deal with a lot. We're in an area where the surrounding area of the location where I work has a very, very high concentration of drug abuse, a lot of homelessness. So our store bathrooms are always inundated with people that are locking themselves in the bathroom, utilizing narcotics, situations where people are just doing all kinds of ungodly things in those bathrooms. And as a security guard, you're often given the directive to go and remove these people. So I think there's a little bit of this that was the backdrop for how this all went down. I'm going to bring a little bit of information and context into it. 7 News has obtained pictures of the injuries of 18-year-old Ben Perez suffered inside of a stall in the men's bathroom at the Food Star International Market located in Leesburg Pike in Bailey's Crossroad Falls. Again, I believe that is in Fairfax, Virginia. We're going to play the video of the news story, all rights reserved. The video link is in the description. I'm utilizing this under fair use. Let's bring it in.
And good evening to you. I'm Scott Thuman. Tonight at 11, 7 News investigates a shocking disturbance inside a bathroom stall at a supermarket in Bailey's Crossroads. It left an 18-year-old with autism, bloodied, and missing a tooth. Some of the video you're about to see might be disturbing. That violent incident includes a store security guard who broke down a stall in the men's restroom to try and remove the man, who ended up being charged with simple assault. I-Team investigator Scott Taylor is here with the details of how everything has now changed after 7 News got involved.
You're looking at the injuries 18-year-old Ben Perez suffered inside a stall in the men's bathroom at Food Star located on Leesburg Pike in Bailey's Crossroads, Virginia. Perez is a person with autism. The injuries happened during an altercation with Food Star security guard John Ramos, who's employed by Rural Security. A bloody face, multiple bruises, stitches, a black eye, and Perez lost a tooth.
You can see blood in the walls and in the floor.
Perez's mother, Jessica, frequents Food Star at least once a week.
We want him to be as independent as possible.
Mom was inside the grocery store shopping with Ben and his 2 brothers when Ben needed to use the bathroom. 30 minutes later, Ben used the bathroom for a second time, the same bathroom Ben used in past visits. Jessica sent Ben's younger brother to check on him. He came back worried, saying the bathroom door was locked and he heard screaming. Jessica went to the bathroom and saw the security guard walking a bloodied Ben out the door.
Describe what you saw when he walked out with a security guard. What did he look like?
He was crying. He was saying, I didn't do anything. He was bleeding from his eyes, all his mouth.
7 News spoke on the phone with Food Star manager and part owner Kevin Yoon, who declined to answer our questions on camera, but said he asked Ramos to check on the boy who asked to use the bathroom twice. 7 News obtained the criminal complaint, which includes this statement from Ramos, who has a different story. He says the owner told him he wanted the male removed who was using the bathroom twice for too long a period, and the man wasn't patronizing the store. Ramos's statement shows he didn't identify himself as a store's security guard while standing in front of the stall's locked door until his 6th request to Perez to leave. Ramos claims Perez responded by cursing and saying he was in the process of going to the bathroom. Ramos entered the stall with a key and found Perez with his pants down. Perez pulled away and closed the stall's door and didn't allow Ramos back in. The security guard kicked in the stall's door and grabbed Perez's arm a second time. Perez pulls away, and Ramos says the 18-year-old punched him in the left eye. Ramos says he then punched Perez, threw him to the ground, and handcuffed him.
But at the moment when the security guard was coming in, do you think he knew what was going on?
No, he said that he thought that somebody weirdo was coming to do something to him.
Food Star's Kevin Yoon tells 7 News, "We have had some teenagers who smoke in the bathroom. We're very sorry it happened. I didn't know he was autistic. We don't want to use force on any customer. It should have been handled smoother. Maybe the security guard, who is one of our best, felt threatened."
This shouldn't happen to him, not to anybody. You know, I'm really disappointed in this situation.
7 News reached out to Rural Security and its guard, John Ramos. No response from Rural Security. Last week, when 7 News spoke to Food Star, Kevin Yoon said Rural Security was instructing Ramos to drop the criminal complaint against Ben Perez. Days later in court, that's exactly what happened. Hey, we'd like to talk to John for a second. Ramos avoided our questions at the Fairfax County District Courthouse, but agreed to drop the simple assault complaint against Ben Perez.
So I think 7 News helped me with the investigation, and we're really thankful for that.
Jessica Perez tells me that Ben is doing much better. That's terrific news. She adds her family will never shop at this Food Star again. In Bailey's Crossroads, for the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
All right. So in that situation, just to do a quick recap, what you have is a 18-year-old autistic young man. And so we don't know what his mental state is in terms of how he carries himself, right? So being 18, being a certain size, looking a certain way, there might be some sort of mental delay in terms of how he carries himself. He goes into the bathroom, I guess leaves, come back into the bathroom a second time. According to the security guard, he is saying that he was directed by, store management, store director, to go and remove this person, that this person is in the bathroom and he's not aware that this person is a patron, that he's actually paying for something, clearly doesn't know that he's there with his mother. Now, in this situation or situations like this, there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of information that maybe is getting a little bit twisted, maybe a little bit of information left out, certain things that people are saying or not saying to protect themselves, but let's just go with it. So the security guard goes in, tries to get this person to come out of the bathroom, knocks on the door, knocks on the stall, has a little bit of dialogue, and then ultimately says that he is store security. The guy does not come out of the door. This is something that happens a lot in the location where I work. The security guard clearly has a key, unlocks the stall, steps into the stall. When he steps into the stall, the conversation is now that the young man has his pants down, steps up, pushes the door closed, and is not allowing the security guard to come into the stall. Security guard then kicks the door in. Once he kicks the door in, goes hands-on with the individual. Individual pulls away, and the security guard is saying that the individual then punches him, which leads to him punching the individual, throwing him to the ground, and then handcuffing him. So that's the background of the story. I want to show you guys some of the pictures here. These images are coming via WJLA.com. Let me pull these up real quick. I just want to show these. So this is, you can see his eye, his mouth here. I mean, this is a pretty decent beating, guys. This is the security guard right here. I mean, a very big guy. And we always talk about the optics of situations. There's just no way around it. Even when this guy is being filmed for the news story, when the reporters are coming into the grocery store, clearly he understands what's going on. He understands why they're there. His attitude, very laissez-faire. He's laughing. He's joking around on camera. Can kind of just see him standing here like he doesn't have a care in the world. That's not good in terms of the optics, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. This is the broken tooth right here. And this is the aftermath of the bathroom. So you can see, kind of a mess. And that is the front of the store. Let me go ahead and pull this down. Stand by. Remove this. So what are my thoughts in this situation? Well, again, guys, I have a lot of personal experience with this. This is something that we deal with a lot. I'm always aware of the optics. I'm always aware of the potential for me or my company to get in trouble. If you're working in this environment and you're being directed to remove somebody from a bathroom, that's a very sensitive situation. Even more so here in Portland, where, you have a lot of multipliers on top of the whole bathroom issue. Aside from the general issues of just privacy, of decency, here in Portland, we have a lot of issues in terms of, the trans community, the rights to which bathrooms people can use. You can really find yourself in a lot of deep water when it comes to the restroom. It's hard to argue whether or not someone is legitimately using the bathroom. There are situations where, if we're making an approach, we can clearly smell fentanyl. You can smell something burning. Situations like that are a little bit different. But in terms of people going to the bathroom and using the bathroom, that is a very, very fine line that I really think most security guards need to understand how to navigate that. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on how I would suggest dealing with a situation like this so that you don't step in shit, no pun intended, right? So number 3 is going to be that all bathroom checks should be handled as safety checks, right? If you're working in a security capacity, they're telling you to go to the bathroom and check on someone, maybe even potentially remove someone. The second that you approach that bathroom and you knock on that door, it needs to be from the guise of it being a safety check. You should never inform someone or say to someone or address someone in a situation that you're there to remove them. Right there from the very onset, if that's the way that you're approaching them as a security guard, I think that you're putting yourself in a lot of potential liability in terms of so many different ways that people can go with that situation. I would approach it as a safety check. Hey, I'm the security for the store, immediately identifying yourself. We're concerned that maybe something has happened. Maybe there's a problem. Are you okay? That's the way that I would start that conversation if you have to engage in something like that. Number 2 is going to always be to approach each issue within the bathroom with extreme respect for privacy, as if each individual interaction is being filmed. This is a very sensitive issue. Like, none of us want to be in a situation where someone walks in on us with our pants down, a situation where we're at the most vulnerable moment. This is heightened and multiplied in situations where people are in some sort of position of minority status, whether that's a female, whether that's someone that's compromised, maybe that's someone that's homeless. Just a very uncomfortable situation that can go south. And I think that it really needs to be handled with a lot more kid gloves and respect. And again, guys, I get it. I understand that in some of these situations, you're dealing with people that are doing nefarious things, people that are doing drugs. I mean, it could be, prostitution. It could be anything. but you never know. You don't know what's going on the other side of that door. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're accusing people or implying that people are doing something that they're not doing. It's just so difficult to stand on something like that, and you really don't have the authority as a security guard to be taking that stance. Number one, if removal is warranted, this is my procedure and the steps that I would advise you to take. Contact a store associate. You've gone over there. You've been directed to go over there. You've knocked on the door. You've alerted that you're private security for the store. You're concerned for their safety. You've been standing there for X amount of time. You're not getting a response. The person's not, coming out. They're not giving you any indication that they're actually utilizing the bathroom for general purposes. Contact a store associate. If there's going to be any sort of extraction or any sort of removal, all of that needs to come from the representative of the place that you're working for. Let the liability of anything that happens with that door opening or anything happening with the removal of that person in that situation, let that fall on the company. Let that fall on the location and their associates. Do not take that liability. The simplest thing to do is just call an associate, call a manager, let them know what you've seen, what you've observed, what you've heard. If they make the decision that they want to remove that person, you're there in a protective and a backup role, right? At that point, you're only reacting to the actions that happen in your presence. If the manager decides to use their key to open that door and demand that that person come out, that person pops up off the stall, they're mad, they're upset, they're pissed off, and they want to charge the manager. They want to get aggressive. They want to go hands-on. You're now in a situation where, based on your standard operating procedures, more than likely you're in a position to now, get more involved. But that's a much better position, a much better situation, a much less liability-laced situation for you to then respond to the actions of the individual as opposed to you kicking in that door and going hands-on. There's really no way to argue the amount of damage that was caused to that young man, the amount of egregiousness in terms of the size differential, the optics. There's just no way around it. So regardless of the fact that maybe that security guard had every right once he was hit to go hands-on with this guy, the circumstances surrounding the entirety of the situation look really bad. Guys, 1B is going to be restraint. When you have the opportunity, the option, or the authority in any situation when you're working to go hands-on, you have to practice restraint. Part of that is understanding your strength versus the people that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with someone that's younger, that's smaller, that's maybe mentally or physically compromised, you can't just bludgeon somebody. Again, the optics of this situation, the optics of the injuries, they just don't look good. They don't look like they were necessary. And then the surrounding circumstances of this person being in a bathroom, being autistic, it's just not a good look, right? So I want you guys to think about that. Coming up with a way to address sensitive situations like this. And again, you might be like me where you deal with it on a daily basis. This is probably, I would say, one of the top 2 or 3 things that I'm tasked with on a daily basis is dealing with what we call bathroom extractions. But guys, this is a very sensitive and delicate area. You cannot approach this like you're going to literally kick the door in and drag someone out. You make the mistake, or you make the wrong decision in terms of who this happens to, and you can find yourself in a really bad way. I welcome your thoughts and your feedback on this. What do you guys think? Do you think the security guard was in the right? Do you think that he was a little egregious? Do you think that this is something that other security guards should think about? Is this something that we should be getting trained on? We talk a lot about training. We talk a lot about how most of the situations that we deal with, a lot of the things that come up, they're not something that you are going to find in a rule book or a policy book, right? These are the types of things that private security guards generally find themselves in, where they don't have a lot of training or a lot of information on how to handle it. So I would definitely say Follow those steps. If you don't think that my steps are good steps, come up with your own steps, but definitely understand how delicate bathroom removal, bathroom extractions can be. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Guys, as always, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here, being a part of this platform, being a part of what we're doing. Please, if you think that we're doing a good job here getting out information that's educational, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support what we're doing, please go to bonesandbrewsecuritygear.com. Again, that's bonesandbrewsecuritygear.com. Pick up a security-based t-shirt or morale patch, and I appreciate what you guys are doing here by being a part of our program. As always, if you're working, watch your back, watch your six, and be great. All right? You guys take care.
Well, I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste. Hold up. Well, I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste.